I really hope they channel it in the right way. I hope Arteta and the team's feeling was missed opportunity, but isn't that great? Isn't that showing how far we've come, that we're looking at a 2-2 with Bayern, having gone behind in the game, having had the chance we've gone and going, we're disappointed?
The only maybe little doubt that there is how do we return after 2-2?
Win 7 and we're champions. What more does this stadium, do these players, this manager need to fuel it?
What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. We're here to preview this Sunday's game as Arsenal vs Aston Villa here at the Emirates, a 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Who will be the hero against the villains this Sunday?
That's all you could come up with.
It's always a thriller when we play Aston Villa.
He just said that one.
I know.
It's time to pack this up and go, man. Now.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Right, we're in. We're gonna get into the game, but first, this video is powered by Paramatch UK. James, tell us a little bit more.
Are you confident that Arsenal will be bringing the Premier League home this season? I am, by the way, and our friends at Paramatch UK are now offering new customers the chance to pick who they think will win this season's Premier League at a massive 50-1 odds. That is right, you can get Arsenal to win the Premier League at 50-1 when you join them today. To claim this offer, simply create a Paramatch UK account, opt in the promotion and then place a bet at the normal price on Premier League winner 2023-2024. These enhanced odds apply to a max £1 stake, and the enhanced odds are paid in free bets. You must be 18 plus and a UK resident. Please gamble responsibly. Full terms and conditions apply, with all the links you need in the description below. A huge thank you to Paramatch UK for sponsoring this video.
All right, people, let's get in the game. Big game Sunday. Before we get into, thoughts, feelings, how you think it's going to go, Douglas Luiz, there was reports this morning that, that their president's looking to offload him. £85 million they want. I just want to know, we've been linked to him before. Would you take Douglas Luiz at Arsenal?
I would, not for 85 million.
James?
Yeah, that's it. It's the price tag. He could obviously do a job in this squad, but not 85 million, no.
Laurie first, actually. Douglas
Is that
Luiz,
who's saying 85 million?
the Villa president. Obviously, they're not going to get that, but that's what he's wanting for him.
Some clubs have ruined this market, man. I know some people say 65 million for Havertz. I mean, for what you've got from him, like, what's Anthony for 90 million? What's Mudryk for 88.5? What, like, come on. I don't know. It's getting silly now. I've seen Ivan Toney now. They're talking 30-40 million. I've gone a completely different direction, but my point is, like, no. Douglas is a good player, and I'm glad he's not playing in this game because he's got
suspended.
Yes, too many yellows. So that's a bonus for us. But I'm not spending 85 million on him.
Laurie, Douglas Luiz?
I would take him.
Yeah.
I do like his ring.
What's a fair price? 60. I think 65 is still a lot, but
No,
really lower, 50.
he's a 40 to 50 million pound player in my
fair.
opinion. No.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
50 would be good. 50
Now,
would be
Villa
good.
fans might say, like,
This
That-
person went
yeah.
for this, but
Yeah.
you just it's a fact that the market is skewed now.
yeah,
Can't
The
go off
market
another
is
transfer.
always inflated, let's face it, but
yeah.
they say you're only as much as, what is it, what's the term? You're only
You're only worth what someone's
people
willing
are prepared to pay for you, yeah.
that's
So
it.
it will be up to Arsenal ultimately, but would I take him as a player? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Good player. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with Laurie. How are you feeling ahead of this game? Obviously, the draw in the week in the Champions League. Still confident when it comes to the Premier League against Villa that we can get the job done or not?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a different type of game, isn't it? Different scenario, different team. Villa are not in their best moment at the moment, are they?
No.
They drew Brentford
It's a draw,
at the weekend. The week before they got slapped by Man City. But then the law of averages would dictate that they're probably due a decent performance. So we hope that doesn't materialise against us. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game for sure, yeah.
It could materialise against us, but Arsenal been so good in the league, Turkish, that surely you're filled with confidence going into this game.
Yeah, I am. The only maybe little doubt that there is how do we return after 2-2, because it wasn't the worst result, but it wasn't the best result. We've conceded a couple goals there where defensively, nothing like what we've been this season, this calendar year especially. So how does that play into this weekend's game against Villa? Because last season around this time, poor results or performances kind of cost us game after game. So all we've got to do is, look back at it. It's done now, 2-2. It's a good result. We're still in it. Especially 2-1 down with 15 to go. It could go completely the other way. So just brush ourselves off and focus on Villa and get the job done. Like Laurie mentioned, they're not in the greatest of places. Smoked by City, a draw, but they got smoked by Tottenham too. Do I expect a performance from them? Nah, not really, because Emery No, we know Emery as well, and you know, we saw towards the end of his full season at Arsenal, did that good performance ever come? It just got worse and worse and worse. So I think, you know, Emery's a good manager, Aston Villa's a good team, but we're home. We should have beat them away from home, in my honest opinion. We had enough chances to get the job done.
We were good that day, yeah.
Yeah, we was. It was surprising we didn't get a goal. So I think we'll get the job done again. Well, not again, but we'll get the job done on Sunday. So
yeah, I don't want that Bayern performance to fuel the team negatively. Now, yes, we were hopeful of a win. We were probably expecting a win. And we know with Bayern's form, we've had all the conversation around that. But I think when things happen, once it's done, you've got to then channel it in the right way. And I think Arteta and the players, before the game, won't be thinking this, but after the game should be thinking, we actually had a lot of possession, created good chances against a team that were one of the favourites of the Champions League going into the season. Now, as the season's gone on, the narrative's changed. But for a lot of the game to be toe-to-toe, punch-for-punch with the players I've mentioned on so many videos now, Sane, Kane, Coman, Gnabry, Kimmich, Musiala, whoever you want, De Ligt, Neuer. So I really hope they channel it in the right way. I hope Arteta and the team's feeling was missed opportunity, but isn't that great? Isn't that showing how far we've come, that we're looking at a 2-2 with Bayern, having gone behind in the game, having had the chance we've gone and going, we're disappointed. Channel that in a right way and go, cool, Aston Villa aren't Bayern Munich. They have their own qualities, they will pose other problems, but I really hope that they actually are more fueled by Tuesday night than they are brought back a little bit from it.
Do you know what, I was going to save this question for the end of the tail end of this preview, but how important then is momentum off this game for you? I know no one wants to look ahead, but is a win imperative for when we go away to Bayern, that it keeps the team in the right mood? Because you feel like if you lose, to get back on the horse, especially when you drew here against Bayern, how important is a win?
I'm going to jump straight back in there because we were doing Forever Arsenal, and
apologies if I've repeated.
We went through we went through Man City's early title wins under Mancini, Pellegrini, Guardiola, and they didn't do well in the Champions League in those years. 2 group stage exits, a quarter-final, I think another quarter-final in Monaco, round of 16. Like, they exited early. So those exits, I would have been disappointed, didn't derail their Premier League title races. So I think we need to also start compartmentalising things better in our mind. There are 2 different competitions that you approach in different ways. If things go wrong against Bayern, don't expect to have any impact in the remaining games that I'm hopeful and expecting of winning in the title
race. Is it
race.
hard for us as fans to say that when I always go back to Big Steve, who talks about momentum last season for City, got them over the line for the treble. So I hear what you're saying, because Chelsea finished 6th when they won the Champions League. It's weird, isn't it?
For the treble, sure, but momentum is also just having regular games. The good thing about this game is you don't have to wait a week from the Brighton game last weekend. I'm not making any sense. From Brighton last week to this weekend, we haven't had to wait a whole week, and that's a benefit too. That's part of momentum, just regularly playing.
That was a good rebuttal to that. I do like that. Yeah, it's not bigger fish to fry.
What do you guys think, though?
For me,
is it momentum? Is it, or is it not? Or is it just?
No, you know what? I don't know how. Obviously, everyone thinks differently, but for me, the Premier League is a priority, bro. It really is, as far as I'm concerned. The Premier League is a clear priority. Yes,
okay.
It's a clear. The Champions League is a big bonus. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to win it. The final is at Wembley on June the 1st. As Arsenal fans, as a Londoner, I'd love to be there. But come on now, the Premier League is your bread and butter. That's the one we've got to focus all our intentions on. To me.
Where do you stand?
Yeah, Premier League is the bread and butter. I think momentum's key in terms of players, personnel. We've got a big squad now. You know, example, Jesus comes off the bench against Bayern and he shows up. So, you know, is this the start of a nice run for Jesus in terms of form? Hopefully, because that will be perfect, the perfect moment. Similar to Jorginho Partey. You know, Jorginho, hell of a lot of credit recently. Quite a game against Bayern Munich, and now, you know, maybe Partey gets a chance. So I think the game's coming thick and fast when you have a squad like we have, where quality, few players deserve to start. I think it gives them a chance to prove themselves. It gives them a chance to have a say in either competition.
Yeah, that'll be the bulk of this video, where we get into the predicted 11 and what we expect to see on Sunday. I want to read through the head-to-head between Arsenal and Villa. We've won 4 times, they've only won 1. Obviously, that was the last game we went to their place, 1-0 win. 7 minutes John McGinn scored in that game, and then we couldn't find an equaliser or winner in that game. We beat them 4-2 away. That was an amazing game. It was a thriller. 2-1 after that to Arsenal, and 1-0 to Arsenal after that, and in 2021 we beat them 3-1. It's funny, I looked at Villa and I looked at their recent performances and last season. It feels like And I've seen this, they start fast. They do start fast. That 7-minute goal from John McGinn, even last week against Brentford, scored 2 goals in the first half. They looked like they were going to dominate the game, end up drawing 3-3. And even last season, we ended up winning later on. I feel like Arsenal will be able to get the job done later on in the game.
Well, they can be touched. They can be touched, they can be got at. They're very good attacking. But if you look at the way they play a high line. And they keep that high line throughout the game, and that probably explains why they concede goals late, as players are getting tired.
That's true.
Concentration lapses. One thing I would say, with the exception of Martinelli, we're not the quickest forward line.
Havertz is surprisingly quick, you know. I know.
When he wants to be.
Yeah. He picks and chooses when. That's a good point. But he
doesn't hold the R2 button down much.
He's surprisingly fast. Yeah, he reserves the energy. But he has got pace. But you're right. I think Martinelli's the one to stand out when it comes to speed.
He's the most electric out of it. Listen, the other guys are not slow, but I'm talking, like ones are rapid.
Yeah.
Martinelli fits that category more than the others. So, but anyway, my point is that Aston Villa, defensively, they can be got at. So it's up to us to expose that.
Definitely. I want to, before we get into Predicted 11, players that we know how good the Bayern team was. We know when we went to Brighton, we had to be quite wary of their players. Aston Villa, boys, for you, anyone that's standing out that you're worried? I know a lot of people might go to Ollie Watkins, but they actually have quite a stacked side as well, Aston Villa.
They do have pace. Diaby, Bailey.
Yep.
Watkins, though, I mean, one thing about Unai Emery, I think as Arsenal fans, the reason we always pull back slightly on our praise of him is because we know the job he did here, which was first season, perhaps looked back on a bit unfortunately, because I actually think he did some good stuff. Second season went badly. The one thing he's done at PSG with Cavani, Arsenal with Aubameyang, Villarreal with Gerard Monroe, apparently, and Ollie Watkins, is he's always had the ability to edit that one in production.
Talking about quality, they also possess, in my opinion, a striker that's been on incredible form in Monroe. He's got 20 goals and 5 assists.
Did you Gerard Moreno?
I'm always butchering the names.
Butchered the whole name.
I tried to carry on so calmly as well. When I could feel you looking at me, I was like, I've said it wrong.
You paused when...
You know when he said Monroe, I said to myself, all right, so they've got Moreno. I haven't heard about Monroe, have I done my due diligence coming up to this warm-up?
Oh, okay, listen, yeah.
He's always had the ability to deliver goals for forwards.
Yeah.
They've always found a way to score bags and bags of goals under Unai Emery. So Watkins is the natural threat because his strikers score every time.
Yeah, 18
even
goals
Monroe
this season for Ollie Watkins. That one that stands out for you. I mean, there is the Rodgers player that recently came in. He was, I'm sure he's in City's academy. He was quality. He played against City actually, and for me, he was a standout.
He's called Rodgers, yeah. Not he might be, not Rodrigo or anything.
No,
you never know.
Rodgers. I'm not going to give his first name because I get that wrong, but Rodgers, he's recently come into the Aston Villa side and he was, against City, I think he was a standout for Aston Villa. But anyone else, Ollie Watkins for you, Robbie? Turkey.
Turkey.
Turkish.
The man just called you a turkey, don't let him get away with that.
I went to call him Robbie, but Turkish. Any players that you're, obviously Ollie Watkins is the obvious, but is there any other players that stand out?
Moreno, Monroe, Turkish Robbie.
The guy's a mess. The guy's actually a mess. Watkins, Diaby, Bailey, McGinn playing.
Yep,
McGinn
should be there.
They've got a few key players, but they're
players.
not in a good place at the moment. So really, I'm not.
You're on this you're very much just brushing that Villa aside, you know. You're doing, which is Laurie calls you out for, but is that how you expect it to go? Just like it's just Villa, they're in a bad time, which is.
Do you think City and Liverpool over the years were worried about Aston Villa at home, regardless of what position? No, and I think that Arsenal are up there. On one hand we talk about how Arsenal are league, we just need to get over them.
It's tough. Anyone could be anyone. I know we've been.
Mostly we've seen teams get 90-point seasons more than ever now. That anyone can be anyone thing. All right, it's fair sometimes, but the reality is we're seeing teams accumulate record numbers of points over the last 10 years. So the elite are the elite.
Can I tell you I was doing some research around this game, and a really weird pattern I've noticed in our domestic defeats, that includes the cup exits. They've come against teams who, stylistically, and I don't know if this is confirmation bias, because maybe other teams do it more and I'm just not seeing it, but they've all come against teams that play with wing backs getting quite high up the pitch. So look at West Ham at home. Emerson gets the ball into the box. Look at Villa, who play with Digne and Cash, who get forward. Look at Newcastle away. Trippier is the most creative outlet. Liverpool at home with Trent playing in that game, although he inverts more now. Who else have we lost to this season? Fulham away. Anthony Robinson, you know him well.
Yeah, good
like
guy.
look how these players, and he got an assist, didn't he, against us? So
he
look
did.
how these. It's actually
player.
these fullbacks. And it takes me back to when we were both here for the Champions League against Porto, when they split their centre backs and they got their wing backs really high up the pitch, or fullbacks high up the pitch. Vendel and Mario. Is it Mario? No, it wasn't Mario. What was his name?
You're looking at
Is
me.
it João
like,
Mario? I think
I
it's
won't
João
have to
Mario.
answer this one.
They caused us problems. So we stylistically don't match up that well, it seems. Again, might be confirmation bias against teams that get their fullbacks really high up the pitch, which is a complete, counter to what we do with our fullbacks quite inside. So yeah, that was just a little thing I noticed. Villa may have tools to hurt us.
And it also needs to be borne in mind with Villa that they come in here with something to play for, because they got Champions League aspirations. They're falling a little bit behind Tottenham in recent weeks, so they want get back. And they beat us earlier in the season. We do have to remember and respect that.
Yeah, beat us and City in that same
that
week.
being said, I do agree with Turkish. We should approach the game with a degree of confidence. I don't know if it's me, but I've noticed that some of the energy of some of the fans has dissipated a little bit after the disappointment of the Champions League game against Bayern.
It shouldn't, man. There's too good an opportunity.
But some people are saying that was more like a loss than a draw. I
Win
don't
7
agree.
and we're champions. What more does this stadium, do these
No, I'm
players
just saying.
imagine need to fuel it?
I'm just letting
I
you
agree
know.
with you. I think you're
what I've
right.
seen
I think
he's
online.
right as well.
I think you're
but-
right, but I'm saying that shouldn't.
it shouldn't. No,
Come
it
on.
shouldn't.
This is an incredible
And
position.
it goes
here.
back to what I was saying earlier. We should treat the two as two separate competitions.
Yeah.
And in my view, the Premier League should be where we focus all of our intentions. Absolutely focused on this game on Sunday.
Yeah, I think it's just this point where we're in dreamland. We just expected 2 clear goals against Bayern, but it doesn't always go that way. But we shouldn't hold on to that result in the Champions League. You're right, James and Laurie. Let's get into Predicted 11. What we think Arteta's going to go with. Just give me a yes or no, though. Yeah. Do you think Arteta will be keeping his eye on that Wednesday game against Bayern? Will he, or is he going to go no?
I hope
Play
not.
your best team for this. Play your
Yeah?
best team for this.
Surely he's keeping an eye on that game.
Listen, what, Jay, that's a no-brainer. That's
I
like
think
standard.
it's a no-brainer.
We should
But
be.
you know what it is, yeah. I have to argue that. What is our best team?
Thank you. Go on, Turkey.
No, but that's a separate argument, Turkish.
No, it's not. It's the
It's
same
not, it's the
argument.
same- it's the
He needs to play the best team, but
No,
what is
he
the best
said
team?
focus everything on this game.
But how do you focus everything on the next
If
game?
you don't know your best team.
You
And
play-
I'm not saying in a derogatory way. What I'm saying is we've seen us do well with Havertz up top. We've seen us do well with Jesus up top. We've seen us do well with Jorginho in the middle. Previously, we've seen us do well with Partey in the middle.
No.
We've seen us do well with Kivio left back, Zinchenko
To
left back,
answer
and
it,
Tomiyasu
I'm not
left
trying to
back.
paraphrase James. I think what James is saying is forget about thinking about Bayern.
Yeah.
Just focus on getting the
And
best
that's
team for this
that's a
game.
contradiction to what I said on Forever Arsenal, where I thought he might hold Jesus back for this because he's not proven he can play 2 games
That's
in a week.
different,
We've got Pine. Yeah, that is different because that's kind of injury driven. What I'm saying is, going into this game, you're absolutely right. I don't know our best 11. I don't think many of us do. I don't think Arteta really does. But whatever he thinks is the best 11 for this game, whatever he thinks is the perfect blend of 11 players to beat Villa, play it regardless of whether you think Partey then may not be ready for Bayern or you've got to go with the best. So if he genuinely thinks we're going to need Jesus for this one, then I'm inclined to think
I think our best team against Aston Villa is a different best team against Munich.
So do I. That's
100%.
why he's thinking. And Matt makes me think he's keeping an eye on the game against Bayern Munich. I'm with you.
I agree. But yeah, you can't not have one eye on it. You know, I mean,
No,
Sane,
I'm
you
sorry.
can't not
But it's
have
the
one
truth.
eye on
As a
it.
human, you got to look at that. Like, it's an opportunity. You're going in with a draw. You win that
So when
game.
you say
go
you
through.
have one eye, do you really say? Are you really telling me that you might rest somebody on Sunday?
Here's a great
just
question.
so they're available on Tuesday.
Ben
on
White,
Wednesday.
we know, it's been reported now heavily that he's playing through injury. Do you rest him for this so he's definitely at his best for Bayern, or do you play him because we need him for this one? For me, he plays this 100%.
Surely you're not on that. It's Bayern, you know. It's quarterfinals.
I'm aware of that, and I feel
Yeah.
that's kind of the point. You put a strong team out against Villa. You put a strong team out against Bayern. I think they could be different. I think
Yeah,
playing
they
at
could
home
well be
against Villa
different.
as
Well,
well.
the point that myself and James, and I don't want to paraphrase. Listen, I'm speaking for myself right now. I don't want to see the manager contemplate resting somebody just because we got Bayern on Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying play what you feel is your strongest team, and that's it. none of this. Well, you know
Except
what?
for Jesus, because he's already played in midweek. I don't think he can play twice in a week, and that's slightly different because it's injury driven. That's just where I would come in.
Okay, let's get into the Predicts 11 and let us know in the comments below your thoughts on that. Do you have an eye on the Champions League fixture away at Bayern? And what do you think the manager will as well? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, so we're going to go with something a little bit different. We're going to go with what we want to see against Villa on Sunday. So who should I start with? James, you ready to give the team that you would...
Whole team?
Or should we do position by position?
Nah, because it gets messy actually, and then we're trying to remember who said it. Let's just give our 11s.
Cool.
Shall we? Shall I kick things off?
Go on, James.
All
no
right.
pressure.
Raya in goal. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko.
Right.
Erdegaard, Partey, Rice. Saka, Havertz, Martinelli.
Okay.
Okay, Odegaard, Partey, Rice, you said, yeah?
We're kind of flipping it back to last season. You don't have Jesus in there. Again, I still don't think he can play 2 in a week. What the hell do I know? It's just a feeling. So Havertz can keep his place. He did really well against Brighton in the league, so he can keep it. I don't think Havertz starts up front against Bayern, but we'll get to that for that preview. I want to see Partey and Zinchenko start a game together again with Zinni inverting, Partey at the base, cutting football like we saw last season. Rice can play that 8 role again. Erdegaard in there, our best front 3 bar Jesus. Or some would argue our best front 3. So yeah, that's my team.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Run it.
Raya in goal. I'd probably go Tommy right back. Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. Reason being to give Tommy a start, 60, 70 minutes, and then he's ready to start against Bayern. For me, I think he's the best equipped to deal with Sané. Then in midfield, I'd go with what James said, Partey, Rice, Odegaard. Rice probably had his worst game against Bayern. I'm not sure if he looked leggy, and if that is the case, then I wouldn't mind Partey, Jorginho, Odegaard. But I'm going to go Partey, Rice, Odegaard, because like James, I want to, we've talked about that coming up to a year now, and we really haven't got to see it yet. So that will be the 3. I've got Martinelli on the left because he needs minutes. He needs a performance.
Yeah, he does.
I'd go Saka on the right, and I'd go Havertz up top. Unfortunate for Trossard because he deserves a start. But
Trossard.
He'll get his. For me, he'll get his start against. Trossard could start up top.
I've changed my mind. Trossard. That's where I'd start.
Well, up top.
I think it'll be Havertz, but yeah, I'll go Trossard up top over Havertz.
I think Trossard gets saved for the Champions League, and again, that's him having an eye on the Champions League game. But maybe I'm wrong. He's played himself into that position. I think he deserves to start, but I think it's a Champions League game for him. But anyway, so you've said not to have Trossard.
I'll stick with Havertz.
You stick with Havertz, James?
Yeah, I'll stick with it. But
and you're sticking with Havertz as well?
Yeah.
Oh, sticking with Havertz. Go on, Turkish. Growth. Yeah. Glory.
Right, okay. So I'm going with a 4-3-3 formation. Raya in goal.
Sorry, the phone's out.
Did I say something funny?
No, I just think, why did you did you not?
Just so that I get it right.
All right, go on,
you know
go
what
on,
I
do
mean?
your thing, do your thing.
Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted. So I'm going to go with a 4-3-3. Raya in goal. Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. I'm going to give Tomiyasu a game. Midfield trio, Partey, Rice and Odegaard. Up top, Saka, Havertz and Trossard. However, I would say that I'm a strong believer in rotating the team. So even though I've just named my starting 11, I hope the manager will see fit to rotate some of the players.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, Laurie. I'm gonna go same back line as you actually, but Raya in goal, Ben White right back, Saliba and Gabriel obviously centre back pairing, left back Tomiyasu as well. I just think Villa's got a lot of threats down that right side, and Tomiyasu can deal with that. And I don't know why he didn't have any feature in the game in the midweek in the Champions League. So same midfield as everyone, Partey, Rice and Odegaard. On the right, Bukayo Saka, even though I still think he's injured. I don't know what it is. I watched that game in the Champions League. I really thought he was playing for injury. I know.
Why do you think that?
There was times he was limping, and I just felt like he was.
He does it every game.
I know, but I really felt like he was hurt. I know.
He is carrying an injury. I think they said that during the international break.
Yeah.
There's something he can play through it, but it's.
But
it's
I don't
ideal.
think he. I don't think he can. He can play through it because we've seen it. But I don't think he should be playing through it. I feel like they should let him rest. But I'm gonna go with him.
Nearly the end of the season, the opportunity's great. They all want to be on that pitch.
Yeah, fair. And then up front, Havertz on the left. I'm going to go Martinelli as well. However, I do want to see Trossard. It's about rotation in this game anyway. I think we'll kill off Villa.
Is he playing through an injury? Because I've got to say, man, he looked way off it the other
Martinelli?
night. Yeah.
Just came back from this gash, didn't he?
So, is he...
Sorry.
He came back from a...
Could it be
That
that
was a weird- it's a
that
weird
injury, or the gash, or whatever it is affecting him more than it was first thought?
No, listen, I don't want to talk
Because
about
he looked a
Gash.
bit listless on Tuesday, right?
He did, but listen, he needs to be played into form. I think Sunday is the right day to do it, and hopefully he gets some minutes. I think he needs to get his confidence back, and I think he'll be important against Bayern as well in the weeks. I feel like
I wouldn't start with him though.
When?
Against Villa, I wouldn't start with it. I'd bring him on later on.
Okay.
Because, like I said, we can exploit that high line that Villa likes to play.
Okay.
And he'd be the perfect one to do that.
We're different in that. Martinelli to start for me, Trossard to feature off the bench, and then in the week, I think Trossard should start. Right, that is our 11s. Thank you, lads. Let's get into score predictions. Let's start with Laurie for Sunday.
I'm going to go 3-1. I think Arsenal bounced back well. I think they've got the beating of Villa. Like I said, I've said it many times, they do concede. And I think at home, given the magnitude of this game, I can't see us slipping up. 3-1 to Arsenal.
Okay. I want to skip me and come back to me last. Turkish, because I haven't really got a score prediction in mind right now.
4-1.
Fair?
2-0.
2-0. 3-2 Arsenal. 3-2 Arsenal.
Why 2?
I feel like we'll concede. I think they've got good attacking players.
Let's hope not, because then that's a worrying trend.
Yeah, 2 goals.
4 goals conceded in a week.
Last
The
2 games.
mess that those other goals were. Yeah.
Yeah, but a win is a win at this
No,
stage
of course,
of the season.
but that would set a bad trend. The reason people think we can go punch for punch with Klopp and Salah,
'cause our
De Bruyne,
defence.
Haaland, Pep, is because we've got the most unbelievable defensive
Agreed.
structure. The minute we start to falter on that front, then it's like, oh.
Agreed. This score prediction for me is vibes, because you're right. I should believe in our defence more. We shouldn't concede, but
I do see quite an
3-2.
open game though.
Yeah, so do I. I don't know why I see
Probably
that. That's
they'll
how
have a
I
go.
feel.
Because we will attack them, absolutely. And they will be threatening as well. I don't think they're going to sit back. They haven't done all season. So
I think they might shock us early. We'll concede, and then
you can
we
see
have to-
Ollie Watkins
it's a fight,
getting one.
It's a
couldn't
fight.
you? Let's
to-
be honest, you can.
who gets some
He's in that
most
type
goals.
of form.
Maybe.
All right, well that's it
That
for
you could see him get one.
Thank you very much. So that's it for the score predictions. Let us know your score predictions in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. And let's go, Gunners. Come on, let's get this win. And we'll see you again soon. Take care.